Hello, today we're going to be going over your coach with you. We're going to be starting up front here, basically going over what's your tongue jack. Basically, it's how you're going to raise and lower the camper to level from front to back and also get off the tow vehicle. I usually do like to recommend leveling from side to side first. Let the tow vehicle help you roll on the blocks if you need to. Once you've done that, you're good from side to side and the front to back, then you would lower your stabilizer jacks. It is important with the single axle that you do have all 4 jacks down. I do have the back 2 down just for our presentation here. Next, we're going to be going over the propane. Pretty much you got the 120-pound cylinder. It was filled minus what's used to test the systems with. And then we have our 24 series battery located underneath here. All right, we'll come around to the side. You got your cable satellite hook up here. Pretty much your pass-through storage compartment. Does go all the way through to the other side. This is going to be locked with your gray key. It is a master key. Pretty much controls the locks, both compartment locks and your entry door. Next, we're going to have our city water hookup. Basically, you want to make sure you have a pressure regulator on the water at the water spigot. From there, your options of an inline water filter and then your blue or white water drinking hose. Then you'll hook it up to here. You'll be ready to use the water system minus the hot water side till the water tank has been filled. Next, we're going to have the fresh water tank. Pretty much it is gravity fed, so you kind of stick the hose in, let it fill, but you do want to read the monitor inside so you know when it's full to shut it off. Don't wait for water to start shooting out of here because it can cause damage to both the outside and inside where it's connected over time. Next, you got your outside shower, basically hot and cold. That there is going to be your little black guy key here. Then we have our water heater area here. I believe this guy is gas only. That is controlled from the inside. I'll show you where that switch is once we step inside. When you are done camping, you always do want to make sure you get all the water out. You would open this to relieve the water pressure. Then you're going to take this guy out down here. This is an ano rod. It starts out the size of a dime and will work itself down to the size of a coat hanger. What it's doing is it's tracking the impurities in the water so it attacks the rod and not your tank. It is a 1 1/16 socket to remove and put that on. All right, we will talk a little bit about our slide room here. This guy here is a Schwintek slide. These guys are to never be lubricated. If they start looking dirty or dingy, they just recommend simple soap and water to kind of scrub those down and then rinse them off. Okay, these guys work on 2 independent motors that talk to each other through a communication or through a controller. So the room usually, will start kind of, it might look like one's coming in faster than the other. It's 2 independent motors. One might be moving faster than the other. Down below here is going to be where our sewer hookup is. Pretty much you got your black handle for the black tank, your gray handle for the gray tank. And then we do got our sewer hose right here. Or your cap there. Oh, you know what? While I'm down there, I forgot to show you these guys here on the back. You got your drain line for the fresh water tank. It's going to be the white one towards the middle of the coach. Then you got low point drains. There's a red and blue line there. Pretty much when you're done camping, I always like to say, take those caps off, open up a faucet. The air will blow out the lines for you as you're driving home. That way you ain't got no water left in the lines where they can become stagnant or bad. Also, you would use that when you're winterizing your coach. This guy here is going to be your 30 amp power cord to take with you. To lower your stabilizer jacks, it is a 3/4 socket. I always recommend using a drill. It's a lot easier. You're going to see that here in just a second because I have mine on the other side. It does have the options for an observational backup camera. We got our spare tire located here as well. All right, then over on this side here, we got our furnace. Nice thing is you've already got the screen over this. It helps keep the mud daubers and the wasp out of there. So the tires here, these guys, you want to make sure the lug nuts are torqued to 100 foot-pounds. That's what this sticker right here says. You also do generally want to check that at 50, 100, 200 miles. I usually like to tell the customer it doesn't hurt to check it anytime you leave a campground. Most times you make bunch of churns, getting in and out of the campground, well, generally the first place you're going to go is usually a gas station to refill your truck to head home. Well, while the truck's refilling, you can come and check the lug nuts. It's 2 birds, 1 stone kind of concept. You do always want to try to make sure the tires are always topped off to their max PSI. I believe these guys were a 65, but let me double check that, confirm with you. My apologies, those are 50 PSI. This here is basically the venting for your fridge. This is your drain port for it. There isn't really a whole lot you have to do in here. You would maybe check for mud daubers or wasps, make sure anything like that doesn't kind of get in there. But generally these, you know, I usually like to recommend that not to get screens for these. People usually will to kind of help try to deter them. But what it does is it actually causes improper breathing for the refrigerator to properly work. Okay. You do have a 110 outlet out here as well. We got our awning here. It is a manual awning. Pretty much that's what this guy here is. And you'll just open her up and close. We'll open this up here just to kind of show you. These guys here are considered an adjustable pitch arm. So when this is all the way out, you can actually pull this down and it will pitch the awning for you. It is a little harder to wind if you're not at the right angle. This guy will be stored in here. The other side of your pass-through. It does have a light here as well. Once again, we're going to have our gray key for the lock on that guy. And then we'll come back on over to the door here. Basically, first step of steps. These guys are real nice. They just fold and fold in. Once again, gray key for your door handle lock. The key turns to the right and it locks the handle itself. For the deadbolt, to lock the deadbolt, you have to turn the key to the left and it won't let you pull the key out. If you turn it to the right and you're able to pull the key out, oh, this one ain't gonna let me do it. Most of the times when you turn the key to the right, you're able to pull the key out. That shows that you didn't lock the deadbolt. But this is actually a good deadbolt. It doesn't tell you that. So as we step inside, when we first step in, we got our fire extinguisher, our GFCI outlet right here. So if for some reason some of the outlets ain't working, they're GFCI protected. Come make sure this guy hasn't been tripped. Let's see, this guy here, I believe was I think that might have been the porch light or the step light underneath, or no, our ambiance light here. A little daylight, can't quite see everything. That guy was our awning lights, our interior lights, and then this one here I believe was the light for the steps underneath.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure of that. All right. And then once we step inside, basically you got your kitchen area here, you got your sink, your drawer underneath, your cabinet here as well, which has a rack for the freezer, or the fridge. I believe that one, oh, that one's going to probably be for the fridge. You got your furnace here. This is just single ducted, so it just comes right out of this guy here. I'll show you how to operate that here in just a few. It's on this wall on the other side. This guy here, you do have to use a barbecue lighter to light it. Basically, you're just going to turn it to the light position, use your barbecue lighter, light it, and then you're going to be ready to cook. You do want to make sure you have your exhaust fan open and on since you don't have a hood range. And down below, we got our microwave. I believe this is also was this the convection oven style as well? I believe this is just our microwaves. And up here is where you would hook up your TV. You got your TV antenna hook up here. As you see, this light is on. This is the antenna booster. It amplifies the signal from the antenna so you can get TV channels in this local area. If you are hooked to cable or a campground cable, you would make sure you turn that off and then scan for cable channels. If you had a satellite dome or hookup, you would connect to that guy there. Then we got our radio here. Basically, you got your power to turn it on. There was outside speakers as well, which I believe those were on out there right now. guess it's just for the outside. No? Oh, here we got a speaker over here. It just ain't super
Speaker
loud.
here.
Okay, they just ain't real loud. Here, we can. All right, and then B is going to be the outside. My apologies on that one. Then we got our fridge here. Basically, when you go to turn it on, you have auto. When it's in auto, it's always looking for 110. When you would unplug it, it will switch over to propane. It will try, as long as the propane tank is on, it will swap over to propane. If it doesn't sense propane, after that, it will kick into the DC, which is the 12 volt, and it will run off the battery. It will drain your battery though. Best thing to note is when the only time you're trying to use the DC on that is if you're hooked to the tow vehicle. Just because some states it's illegal to be running down the road with propane on. Previous owner did put a nice little fishing rod holder here. We do have our cabinet storage up above as well. We got our dinette table that could sit out here. This guy here will fold down into a bed just by lifting and laying down. Back here you do have your fire exit window. Even on a nice day, you can open this guy up, turn on the exhaust fan in the bathroom, kind of creates a nice little attic flow. Right here on this wall is going to be where a lot of our controls are going to be. This guy here is just going to be for the water heater. It's the gas only. To bring our slide room in and out, we'll do that here in just a little bit so you can kind of hear those motors running. Down here is where it's going to be the controls for the furnace. And then this is our little control panel. Pretty much it just tells us our battery status, and then your fresh tank, your black tank, and the gray tank. Here's the water pump switch to turn on the water pump. The only time you're going to use the water pump is if you're using the fresh water tank. If you're hooked to city water, you don't need that. Your controls for the air conditioner are going to be located up top. Gray side is for your fan. Blue is for the air conditioner, and you can adjust it here. This says for an optional heat. It does not have a heat strip or heat pump in it. That's an aftermarket item that generally gets purchased. And here's just going to be our bathroom, or 3-in-1 basically. You got your toilet and then your shower. Does give you a little light switch there as well. Has the curtain to kind of block all that off. Oh, let's see here. A little storage compartment there. Do always make sure that that stopper is not in there if you're trying to take a shower. I do find that a little redundant for this size tub. For the toilet, you would lightly press on the pedestal to add water to it to do your business, all the way down to flush. I usually also like to say if you take nonstick cook spray, you spray the bowl of the toilet. Helps everything slides down and makes it easier clean for the cleaner. And then we got our little storage area here as well. So now we've made our way back to the door. We're going to go ahead and bring this slide room in here so you can kind of try to hear those motors, the way they sound. As you see, they are not the quietest things in the world. And that's it. All right, from there, we made our way back to the door. Hopefully this is knowledgeable enough for you guys. If you guys do have any questions, please feel free to call us, and we'll do our best to answer those over the phone. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.